So do you guys see my screen?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. All right. So bear with me. I'm going to try to walk you through the journey of what we did and why we did it with Vaccify. And it is something that that started earlier this year, or I would say the end of last year, December 2019. I was back in Pakistan and I really wanted to do something regarding digital identities in Pakistan. So I started TrustNet Pakistan, and the idea behind it was to ignite awareness for self-sovereign identity in Pakistan, all right? Because I felt that there's a need that we as a Pakistani nation need to jump onto this and at least explore it if it's something that can help us grow in a better fashion. And of course, helping different organizations, my agenda was pretty clear. I wanted to do something, give something back to the community. So I started this venture, and moving on, something happened. The pandemic hit us, and let alone that I didn't even imagine that it would happen, but it changed everything. And there was one thing that was pretty clear, that there will be a pre-COVID world and a post-COVID world, which means that once we recover from a pandemic, there is gonna be, life is not gonna be same. It's gonna have changes in it, and they're here to stay, because it's not something that you can just turn off in a second. So I also felt that digital trust can play a really important role in this, in helping us recover from this pandemic, especially for a developing country like Pakistan. I believe we can build services around digital trust that can help us open our society in a more better fashion. Now, we do know that immunizing a whole country it takes time. It's not easy. And the simplest example of it is that we have still not been able to get rid of polio. It's still there. I just saw a tweet last night by Fassi Mehta. I hope he has joined us today. I did invited him. That he tweeted about that. Okay, that it's still there. It was something related to that, and it made me still think about that. Okay, that this is a problem, that it still exists. So on that point, we know that immunizing a whole country is not gonna be a piece of cake. So, which leads us to another problem, that there will be a transition phase. There's gonna be a phase when some population will be vaccinated and some of it won't be. And in order to function as a society, we need to find a way to not make chaos. Imagine half of the Pakistan, or like, let's say 1/3 of the Pakistan is getting immunized and rest of it is not. How do you open offices? How do you open air travel or other services across the country? I mean, the only way you can do it is once you are sure that if certain people are vaccinated or not. Now, this is something that hit us, hit me especially, and I thought about doing something about it. And right when I was thinking about it, I saw this. Bill Gates actually posted on Reddit that it was just a wild idea that he sprouted out, and he said that, okay, that eventually it would be nice to have some sort of digital verification for vaccination certificates. And that literally lit a fire across the internet, because when world gets to work, they do it on a very different level. And in a matter of months, this is what I started seeing. Actually, I already started working on my own initiative by then, but I started seeing this. Germany started working on immunity passports. US started working on immunity passports. Australia started working on them. India started working on them, and a lot of other countries across the world. Now, in all of this, I found out that there is a global initiative which is trying to bring everybody together. All of these different countries and people and initiatives that are trying to build such sort of solution that can create digital trust among vaccination, that it should be interoperable. People should be able to trust that, okay, if a vaccination certificate is issued here in Pakistan, it should be verifiable in Australia or in UK without being able to create crazy amount of integrations and spending money, or and with less friction as possible. Now, this is something that showed that it can be done, because it gave me hope in a way that there are a lot of other people and companies that are doing this. So we kicked off our initiative, and we joined and we partnered with the COVID Creds initiative back in US, and we became part of 100 plus organizations who were in part of this, who were a part of this initiative. Now, moving forward, one thing was for sure. If we had to do it, we had to do it the right way. And this is where the self-sovereign identity comes in. Now, back in April this year, Harvard published on a Harvard journal, there was a paper published about that. If you want to have immunity certificates, you have to do them right, because if you don't, you might end up breaching user privacy and data leaks. And believe me, a lot of other countries are under hot water because of this, because they're using patients' medical data without their consent, and bringing consent to any kind of system is already very tricky in a digital age, because information is just flowing limitlessly, and it's very difficult to control that. So in order to have that, the only solution that, one of the solutions that I would say hit me was self-sovereign identity, which means that making the identity owner more responsible for an owner, like giving them more autonomy over their data, while giving organizations the governance power to manage those identities. Now, idea was very simple, that we wanted a powerful and interoperable digital vaccination passporting ecosystem. We came up with an idea, Vaccify, which will be privacy oriented and will be using self-sovereign identity. On a higher level, you can think of it like that. It uses cryptography and more of a user data consent to manage your to manage your identity and your data flow. So I will be showing you a demo later in after a few slides. So hang in there with me. One more thing that was very important. Actually, yeah, two more things actually. One, the standards. We didn't want to build something that we build it and then it's a solo silo. It's a solo silo project that stays in its own under a mountain or somewhere. We wanted to build something that can connect with everything and on a certain standards. So we built this solution on W3C standards, which means that any other solution out there in the world or in Pakistan even, if it's compliant with this standard, it can directly hook into Vaccify. Now, one thing I want to make clear, Vaccify is not a product. We are not selling anything. It's just an initiative we started because we wanted to do some good. And so far, this is what we have done. One of the major key problems that I have personally faced is an integration hell that businesses and organizations are gonna see when a solution like this is gonna hit market, either by us or by somebody else. It doesn't matter. Now, when I talk about integration hell, I mean, imagine if one airline has to take verification from one hospital that, okay, that hospital is gonna provide vaccination certificates, and that one airline is gonna agree to that, okay, that if you get a certificate from that hospital, we believe in it. So we trust in that. So now imagine a relationship between one airline and 10 hospitals, and then 10 airlines and 10 hospitals, and then hundreds of airlines and hundreds of hospitals. Imagine the amount of cost and time that needs to be put into that in order to integrate all of this together, because they're not just gonna work. These systems are not gonna just work seamlessly together over the without any sort of work or time put into it. or else you can just use an email to transfer your healthcare data, sensitive healthcare data to someone, which I highly don't recommend. So this kind of solution, which is based on WCC standards, definitely helps with interoperability, which means once you build a solution on these standards, it doesn't need to go through this integration hell, which means it will end up saving shit ton of money and a lot of time for people. And this is what we need right now. We don't want to waste time, and we don't have enough money, honestly. All right. So like I said, all of this was an effort by the people, for the people. So that's why everything I'm going to show you today is open source. It's available on our GitHub. Everything from the code to the mobile app to the every part of each and every single piece of the solution that we are proposing, the ecosystem itself is open source under a license, which is right here in front of you. Now, it will flow in a very basic manner. So there's something I want you to understand before I show you a demo. That is that there is a ownership of certain certificate. Think of it like in a real life scenario. So imagine you are gonna get vaccinated for SARS-CoV-2 and you go to a hospital and they vaccinate you and they give you a paper certificate that you need. So the hospital is an issuer, you are the owner of the certificate, and let's say if you want to travel to another country, let's say, you can just simply, then the aviation authorities, let's say an airlines or an airport would be a verifier in this case. Just give me a second, I think I'm getting some question there. But let's take questions after I have shown you the demo. We will try to take as many as we can. All right. So so please bear with me. We're almost there. All right. So the use case. So what did we tackle? Now the technology that can bring digital trust, which means you as a organization can issue digitally verifiable information. Me as a consumer can have autonomy over my information and data, which means I give consent if somebody wants to use it and for which reasons. And another party, a verifier, can verify it. So the use case which we tackled was in the aviation, and especially in the travel vaccination certificates, because this is something we felt is one of the needs of the hour, and by which I mean that travel has suffered a lot. It is something that we have briefly covered in our white paper, which I will be showing you soon, right before the demo. So if you are interested in understanding how travel industry have been affected globally and especially in Pakistan, I would definitely recommend that you read I think the 3rd chapter of our white paper. All right, so it's pretty straightforward. We wanted something hybrid, which means it needs to work online and face-to-face, which means you can do it either on location, either you're on an airport, you want to prove that you are vaccinated, you should be able to do that. Or you should be able to do it while you're booking your ticket at home. So we try to cover these two cases. So on the left side of my slides, you can see there are 3 steps. You go to a hospital, you show them your travel ID, they verify it that it belongs to you. In the second step, they vaccinate you and they note down your information. In the third step, they give you a vaccination certificate. It's as simple as that. And believe me, we have put a lot of effort in making it that simple, because under the hood, this whole process, making this process simple is quite complicated. And let's say now, in terms of what I told you earlier was the issuance flow. So if you are going to get a vaccination certificate, or if you're going to issue a certificate, if you're a medical institute, then this is the kind of flow that it will be following. But in a case where you are an organization or an institute that is going to verify this certificate, or then the flow would be like that. Imagine as a person, you would go to, let's say, an airport, and they, of course, verify your travel ID or your passport or something. And then based on that, they will show you a QR code. You scan that QR code, and then you see what they're requesting you. And if you allow them, they will be able to access this information that you have been vaccinated or not. So you control your autonomy while the issuer have governance over it, and verifier definitely gets certain privileges on that as well. So another thing, yes, I mentioned earlier, everything we did was for a good purpose. And when I started, I remember I was all alone, and I knew one thing for sure, that I cannot do it alone. It was bigger than me then, and it is bigger than me for now as well. And I want to especially give a huge thanks to all the people who have helped us. There are quite a few people who are not on this list, but I made an open call for people to join us in this initiative. And I was surprised to see how many people from all across the globe were willing to help us with this. Technical, non-technical, and like from different areas of marketing and from marketing and research and development and tech. So we had a huge, great team which helped us build what we have today. And one of the important factors of it was our community partners, because we needed some support other than just the volunteers and contributors. So different local organizations in Pakistan, which are also working internationally, such as Exord, which is a really interesting blockchain company based in Karachi. They helped us. They gave us their resources to help us make this solution. And wherever we got stuck, we asked for help, and none of them ever said us that they can't help us. So kudos to them who has stepped in to help us with this, and I cannot thank them enough for being so effortlessly great. Now, digital trust challenges is something that we faced in the beginning while we were building this. Translating real-world digital trust to real-world trust to the digital world isn't that easy. So in Pakistan, we work with paper-based certificates. Your NIC, even a hard paper-based copy of your NIC it can do wonders if you have one of those. And translating that kind of trust to digital world where you have a piece of paper that proves that, okay, you're vaccinated, and moving that to a digital world, that was a challenge of its own. And especially when there is no data governance around the vaccination ecosystem, like Dr. Bisma mentioned earlier. Now, and on top of all of that, the verifiable information is already a scarcity. As you know, you cannot verify most of the things in Pakistan. What if I ask you to verify me if I'm a legit citizen? So you don't have access to those APIs or that kind of information. You need to get in contact with certain organizations and do whatnot to get that, and it's painfully slow and a lot of other bureaucratic issues in there. So coming to the part which you have all came here for today, what have we produced? A white paper that talks about the necessity of vaccination passporting, introduces and proposes a digital vaccination ecosystem that can be built around self-sovereign identity, which is not there to replace, but to work side by side with Pakistan's current digital identity ecosystem and help people getting vaccinated. And you might read it in our white paper that India is actually planning to do something similar. If you are familiar with their digital identity ecosystem, they have Aadhaar, in their for their citizens, and they're planning to use that to vaccinate the people in their country. And I think NADRA can do something similar if the right people want to get the job done. But having said that, like I mentioned earlier, the challenges are so damn crazy that one would think it's a bad idea. But with a solution that is based on self-sovereign identity and in a decentralized, on a decentralized platform, could do more than you can even imagine. The second thing we produced was a proof of concept. Now the white paper does propose as an ecosystem, but the proof of concept actually brings that to a reality. We showed how can you actually do it. And like I said, the code, everything we built is open source, available on our GitHub. So we built issuer web application that will be used to issue a digital vaccination certificate, a mobile app that a holder will have on their hands to verify, to hold it and give consent for their data if they want to prove or give their information to someone about their vaccinations and manage them accordingly. And a verifier application that is be used by some sort of organization or institutes who wants to verify people. But all of this is just a proof of concept. So the idea is that such solutions can be integrated with other systems easily and can also be built parallelly on the side as well. There's a lot of flexibility to it. So without any further ado, let's jump into the demo and the white paper. So let me just quickly open up website, Vaccify, PK. So you can also get access to our white paper from the website. It's right in the middle of the page, the blue button, read white paper. So all the attendees will also be getting an email. I'll personally make sure that you receive one copy of it in your mail. The white paper, like it said, covers a lot about what we have done and what can be done if if people want to, and if we as a nation want to do something about it. It covers about the digital identity challenges, the future of it, the vaccination passporting ecosystem we propose, and Vaccify as an initiative, what we have done and what the basis and the foundations we have laid off for people and organizations and even government to take this forward if they wish to, with or without us. That's completely up to them. All right, so take a look at this if you feel like I said, I'll be sending you an email about this as well. So let me just quickly show you the demo. The demo is also live. Let me connect my phone and share my phone screen as well to give you, all right. Okay, so we need time. Let's put this here. Let's bring this here. Okay, guys, this is my phone live right now. And I have an app on the bottom right corner, you can see named Vaccify. And on the left side, you can see a screen with two big boxes. The red one is a hospital. We have mimicked a hospital that will be showing you that if you want to receive a vaccination certificate, how will that flow will be carried out. And then on the right side, you see a green box which has two logos, an international airline and some sort of aviation thing. So this is where we will be showing you two of those use cases that, okay, if you want to get your vaccination verified either while you're boarding your plane or while you're booking your ticket from your home online. So like I said, the demo is split into two parts. Part one is getting the vaccination certificate as a person, as a holder, and of course, as an institute, you issuing it. So let's go here. Okay, so let's try out this demo. All right. There we go. And so how it will go like is that a healthcare, you will go to a hospital, let's say, And you will show your passport to, you will say that you want to get vaccinated, right? And the healthcare person will ask you for your digital, for your physical ID, your passport or your CNIC or whatnot. And you give it to him, and then he checks that it belongs to you, like, KYC in person. And then he logs into his system and he sees this. He takes your passport and he puts your information into this system. He puts your name, your gender, your document type, your document ID, in this case, your passport number. Let's put, for easy cases, CV X12. All right. All right. And then he will take out a vaccination, of course, from his packet or whatnot, and then he will put information of that vaccination that he's going to give you in this form. For example, the batch number of the vaccination, the serial number, the name of the vaccination, manufacturer, dose, what he's going to give you, and the expiry date, when it's valid, all right, and who's the vaccinator himself, his own credentials. So once he's done filling your information and verifying who you are, he will vaccinate you. And at that point, he will ask you to scan a QR code. Now, in this case, what you will be doing is you will be taking out your phone, a digital wallet app, just like Vaccify, and you will be, after you have done your onboarding for the first time, you create your passcode and your biometric, like password and everything, to be more secure and everything. All right. So on the app, you can see there are 3 different sections on the bottom: your actions, your certificates, and your connections. So connections shows who you are securely and encryptedly connected with: hospitals, airports, or whatnot. Certificate shows what kind of certificates you own, which means this can be broadened into many different horizons. Not only vaccination certificates, it could be more than that, depending upon what kind of digital information you want to verify. But let's stick to the use case. And on the left, the actions. What needs to be done in order to either receive or give consent to verify your information. So when the doctor will vaccinate you, he will show you a QR code, and you as a consumer is gonna just open your app and scan a QR code, and you will receive a digital certificate request on your phone. So if you click it, you can see that this is the information that he filled out for you, and it shows that this hospital, VCare University Hospital, is going to give you a SARS-CoV-2 vaccination certificate. Do you accept it? So it's my choice that, do I want this? Do I want to own this certificate? Let's say if I say yes, I have to biometrically verify myself in order to do so, because security is important. Why not? And the moment you give consent that you want to receive and own this vaccination certificate, the doctor will see a simple button that he wants to authorize you a certificate. And once he clicks that, in a matter of seconds, you should be able to receive a vaccination certificate, which you will be finding in the certificate sections, in the certificate section of your phone. And now you own this certificate. Nobody else have access to it. And if you want to prove it, just like a paper-based certificate, which you would keep it in your pocket, you can keep this digital certificate in your pocket. You cannot make copies of this digital certificate. It is digitally verifiable, and it's secure in ways that you will find out. You can read the white paper definitely for the details. All right, so you can tap this and see that what information this vaccination certificate holds. And okay, so I own it. Let's just close it now. So this was the first part of the demo, where I, as a consumer, can receive digital vaccination certificates from any institutes in a digital manner. Now, and in the connections, you can see I'm securely connected with this particular hospital here. And yeah, so that being said, now the second part of it is, the verification. I know, guys, I think we are running a bit above time. So stick with me. I think we're almost done here. So we'll be closing soon. So I think Hira, we started a bit late today, like 5 minutes past. So give me those 5 minutes, please. All right. So moving to the next part of the demo where you have to verify the certificate, we go to a website, or the demo website, and now we have these two options. Either you want to do it on location or you want to do it while booking online. So let's say we go on location first. So imagine you going to an airport, boarding your flight, and the person is going to give you your, is going to check in you and give you your boarding pass. The moment that before they give you your boarding pass, they ask you for your passport, and you give them your passport, and they put, wait a second, let me put this first. So they ask you for your passport, and you give them your passport, and they put your passport number in the system. CX2, that was the one which was issued to. All right. And they just show you a QR code that you have to scan, which we should see. Yeah, there it is. You open up your phone, you scan your QR code, and you see a request by the civil aviation authorities on your phone. You open it, and then you see that they're requesting you for this information. Now it's up to you if you want to give them consent for this information or not. And let's say you do. You biometrically verify yourself that you want to do that. And within seconds, this will start verifying your vaccination certificates. At this moment, the systems are doing the magic. They're talking to each other in a cryptographic manner, exchanging information about you, only relevant information about you, which you want to share, of course, and doing the magic. And within less than 10 seconds or so, your information reaches them, and the person on the boarding can just simply verify you and check that, okay, you are vaccinated and your vaccination is valid till 2030 and issued by this hospital and for this passport and whatnot. So the second thing that comes to mind is, what if you don't want to do it face-to-face? You want to do it online, sitting at home. So in that case, imagine you are just doing you're booking your tickets, all right? So let's say you want to reserve your ticket from Lahore to Gatwick, London, and you put your departure dates and whatever, and you move on. And then on the website of the airlines, it asks you that they need this information from you. Now, you can see that this information is all disabled. You cannot just fill it with your hands, with your keyboard or something. You need to verify this. So it is going to ask you from your name, from your date of birth, to document ID, to everything about your vaccination for verification. Of course, this is just a sample information, so it can be increased or decreased based on the use case. And of course, you put your own passport number there, which I have forgotten, CVX12. CVX12. Right. And the process is pretty much the same. You should be shown a QR code, which you scan from your phone via your Vaccify app, and you get a additional proof request from NIA International Airlines, and they say that they are requesting you for this information. You say, sure, I want you to book me a ticket, so please verify my vaccination. And the process is pretty much same. It communicates with different servers, processes your information in a more encrypted manner, verifies your verifiable credentials, which is a concept that we have briefly mentioned in the white paper. So I'm pretty sure that it will be a good read if you take it a look. Yeah, so in a matter of seconds, your information is digitally pre-filled in an uneditable way on your form, which is verified already. So you can just move on and book your ticket. Simple as that. And that is it. Now I think I'm pretty much on time. Am I, Hira?
Yes, you are. Thank you so much for the wonderful demo. I loved the idea.